we need to talk about Venom 3. I am almost beaten by this movie. Like, I'm slouching down, I'm not even sitting up. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna talk spoiler free first, in case people don't want to be spoiled by this fantastic movie. I'm gonna be really brutal here. I already know I'm gonna be way more negative than I need to be, but I just didn't like this movie. And here's the thing, just to preface, I'm a Venom fan, like from the comics. If you didn't know, he's actually a really deep and interesting character. A lot of really cool allegories for addiction. Some of his more recent runs have been very critically acclaimed, but I was not expecting that Venom in this movie, okay? Let's not get it twisted. I knew what I was walking into and I was still disappointed. The people who got the early screenings and said this movie was good had to be smoking something, man. Because this movie was somehow worse than the second one. I remember watching Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, whatever the frick it's called, and thinking, wow, this is just the most corny, bad movie. And I was laughing at parts that you're not supposed to laugh at, but I was having a great time. I felt like I was watching the Tobey Maguire movies. Like, it was a wild, fun time. And the action was also cool. That was a cool part of the second one. I didn't like the action here. But to stay on topic, that corny wackiness is not really present in this movie. Hold on. At least I got a nice soda from the movie, so that's fun. Paid like $8 for a large soda. How is this worth $8? I got actually ripped off. I should not be happy about that. Let me just, I just gotta be clear and concise so I can get the spoilers because there's so much I have to talk about. Plot, bad. I mean, so convoluted. This movie retcons like all the past movies within like the first 5 minutes, and it keeps on doing that. It also has so much horrible exposition, just constantly telling you new things by just telling you and not showing you. Doesn't give you time to breathe. Just like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is a new thing. This is a new thing. This is a new thing. And then you're at the end of the movie and like, okay, cool, this is done. This movie introduces you to a bunch of new characters, some of which I half care about, some of which I don't. The comedy, I don't think is as good as the second one. I don't know if it's because the comedy isn't good or it's not as corny or something, but it's missing that oomph. I wasn't laughing as much as I was in the last one. I wanted to see some really cool wackiness too. We got the cool Venom horse in the trailer, but outside of what we got in the trailer, you don't get much more of it in the movie. So you're kind of just left wanting more. It does some cool stuff with comic book lore, throws a lot of comic book lore out the window. There are some emotional beats. I didn't get emotional during them. Other people did. Other people were just saying, oh my gosh, I got choked up. I did not. Maybe I'm just soulless though. The action isn't that great, I don't think. I think it was maybe cooler action in the first movie, just because the first movie was a lot of motorcycles and big CGI blobs. But it just wasn't as fun, I think, as the Carnage versus like Venom fight. But speaking of, actually, were there any other fight scenes? I can't even remember any of the other fight scenes in the second movie now that I think about it. Maybe all the fight scenes suck in this trilogy. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, like spoiler free. No, actually, there are a lot of good actors in this movie, and they are acting well. That is honestly one of the best parts of this movie. There's no actual bad acting. CGI is actually much better than I thought. Much better than most Marvel movies, which I kind of think helps with the whole Venom aesthetic. Pacing is actually pretty good. I don't know, do you guys care about this stuff? Should I just get the spoilers? I feel like I should just get the spoilers. Spoiler time. I just gotta go in order, okay? I'm just gonna run through the beginning of the movie to the end because I don't know where to begin. I have so many thoughts and feelings. Start off strong. They're throwing Null right up there. Cool animation about his origin. It's kind of pretty much I can't swear. Half done. That's the word I was gonna say. But you know, I think it honestly does a good job with saying, oh, this is the super intimidating, powerful person. You should be afraid. And honestly, one of the better parts of this movie is making Null seem terrifying based on other people's reaction. I think it's always the coolest thing that can be done. One of the cool parts about the Loki show was that we don't see much of Kang, but you see Loki just terrified of Kang, and it makes him more intimidating. But this movie, after that, we're doing retcons and expositions, baby. You thought you knew what happened in the last movies and post-credit scenes? No, we lied to you. You thought you knew anything that was happening in the past plots of the movies? No, we lied to you with that too. Oh my gosh. Alright, the No Way Home post-credit scene or Carnage 2 post-credit scene is fully retconned with the whole teleporting thing, new aesthetic. Eddie is shot through this other kind of portal for some reason. I think it's insinuated that it's the same reason from No Way Home. I don't know, but he goes through the xenophage portal, which, I mean, I don't know why they would even change that aesthetic when they don't need to. It seems kind of purposeful. And now, though, the symbiote that he had that we saw, was left on the bar, that no longer happens. And the symbiote is now left in the Sony Venom universe wherever that is, because it seems to me that this Venom universe is just on its own. I don't even think Craven or Madam Web or Morbius or anything else is even gonna touch that at all. I think that they are putting this all in a small bubble, and now that Tom Hardy seemingly does not want to do these movies anymore, they are throwing it away. The first Eddie scene is just wild. Him making that drink, I was like, what movie are we watching? What's going on here? Like, there are so many scenes in this movie which are Eddie and Venom being wacky, but I don't even think they're entertaining and fun. But yeah, they retcon the whole thing with the symbiote. It's no longer in the MCU, so I don't have to worry about that. Introduce the xenophages hunting Venom, and now Venom has this thing called the Codex, which for some reason happens when Venom brings someone back to life. I mean, you don't try to understand it because they don't explain it enough, and you just kind of told this and just go with it. Why can't you just kill other people who are like have good symbiosis with someone and to just make a million codexes? I don't know. Why does Venom so special with that? We don't know. Unless I'm an idiot and I completely missed it, which is entirely possible, but I mean, I'm not gonna give the movie the benefit of the doubt. So this whole plot gimmick in this movie is that Venom can't be full Venom for most of the runtime, which I feel like just seems like a budget thing, and they're like, okay, we can't have Venom on screen the whole time, and it's cheaper just make it like a head. So let's just do this gimmick. So Venom's on the run. Patrick Mulligan is dead, supposedly. But then we find out later in the movie that he is alive. My recording stopped because I ran out of storage, so we're just gonna pick it off where I think we left off, which was Toxin. Where it retcons the post-credit scene where Patrick Mulligan becomes Toxin, because no, now his symbiote left Patrick Mulligan and now he's about to die. So they just inject him with another random symbiote for some reason, which I think is just so it can be a plot device to explain more about Null to the humans. And also, just speaking of, you got Patrick Mulligan. You got teasing of Toxin. Why did you just make him some random green dude? Toxin is so cool. Just give the Toxin fans a bone and just make him look like him at least. And also, Patrick Mulligan does nothing else in this movie. He is a plot device to explain exposition, and then he dies. Yeah, that's it. He's wasted. You wanted to see a cool Toxin? No, you don't get one. I, as a Toxin fan, was very upset. Anyways, with the rest of the movie, xenophages are hunting Venom. They're pretty much indestructible. They don't ever explain their weakness. Yet vulnerable to acid for, I guess, some reason. I mean, you could say that acid eats every single molecule, so maybe that's why. I don't know, man. And yeah, the xenophages can only see Venom when he's in full Venom form. And this whole Codex thing is so stupid. My gosh, horrible, pointless exposition. Just constantly telling us new things in the most word jumble slop possible. And it doesn't even make sense. Like, what? I just was rolling my eyes during the whole movie. Every 5 seconds we're introduced to something new and in a horribly just told way. So yeah, Venom goes and starts walking across Nevada and stuff. He stumbles upon Lizard, or the past actor. I forget his name, I'm sorry. He's a good actor though. And the lady from Euphoria, the mom, and these two lovely kids. This whole group and family, pointless subplot. Does not need to be in the movie at all. They didn't even do like a cool little thing where like the kid's name is Peter or the other guy's like name is Kirk Connors and he's like the multiverse variant, and this one he's a hippie. It's just, like, first he's here, the actor is here for no reason besides like the bait and switch. And this whole family subplot is just pointless, and I didn't care about them. The only thing I cared about was at the very end when the little boy was crying because he was acting his heart out and it pulled on my heartstrings. Yeah, they do some random talking. They like aliens, yada yada yada. They give Venom a ride. He gets to Vegas. All the alien people, by the way, are doing random stuff in Area 51. We get the one girl with the electric. She got shot by lightning. I don't know if she's from the comics, to be honest. Maybe I'm blanking. I'm forgetting her. But yeah, she gets electrocuted. And another lady has like a Christmas tree thing. They never explain her backstory. They have like an ominous line where it's like, it's from my mom. And then it's insinuated that her mom is dead. But then for some reason she's really connected to the symbiotes. We don't know why. So, you know, but they're all doing random nonsense. Army guy is like, we should kill the symbiotes. They hurt my soldiers. And then the other women are like, no, for science. And then they bicker and fight. When Eddie is in Vegas, we get some fun shenaniganery. I did enjoy this part where like he pisses off some of the guards and then like steals some other dude's suit. He gets a gambling addiction. We love to see it. Finally, a superhero we can all relate to. Mrs. Chen is in this, and you know what? This is just the horrible writing that I'm totally okay with, because Mrs. Chen has been in all the movies. Everyone loves her. Is there any reason that she actually should be in here? No. Do they just want to include the actress and the character because everyone loves them? Yes. Fun, cute scene. Then Eddie transforms, the Venom, Xenophage comes, because these Xenophages can just freaking teleport like nothing, by the way. They do that nonsense. Venom gets captured. Patrick Mulligan explains Null again. He's with like some weird snake creature, which the design looks cool, but again, is not toxin. So this is a nitpick, by the way. I'm not actually holding this part against the movie. I will be holding the horrible exposition though against it. Yeah, and so they're separated. Eddie is sad because he doesn't have Venom. Sees Patrick Mulligan again, yada yada yada. Army dude talks to some random government dude, which I think is the general from the end of the movie, but like, they're just ominous for no reason. I don't know if this is supposed to be some secret person that they're gonna tease later in the movies. Who knows? And then Eddie gets shot. Oh no, he's dead. But oh wait, the lady like stole Venom for some reason. Again, she really loves these symbiotes. So then Eddie merges with Venom, and then Venom resurrects Eddie, and then they fight, and then Patrick Mulligan breaks out, saves Eddie. Then we get just symbiote mayhem. They had all these little symbiotes in the science lab, broke them all out. Random scientists and random bystanders, they're Venom now. They beat up these Xenophages. The Xenophages can't die until acid later on. Oh my gosh. When during the fight, the army dude, after they have seen that these fellow scientists have bonded, that he knows, and are clearly fighting this huge threat, he's like, nah, I'm gonna kill these other scientists that I know, and shoots a bazooka at the fellow scientists, not at the actual Xenophage. Absolutely wild. There are some other crazy things that I'm forgetting, but it's so much nonsense. Oh yeah, the scientist family broke into Area 51, sees the aliens, Eddie saves them. Pointless nonsense. We get some cool fight scenes with like different symbiotes. I don't think the action is actually that good though. Like, symbiote nonsense should be fun, and the concept is fun, but I just don't think the execution was that cool. And again, like, Venom doesn't even do any actual cool action scenes because of the gimmick of like the codex and him not being able to transform. Eddie's mortally wounded and he's like, okay, I'm about to die. Venom's, you're gonna live. And he's like, no, bait and switch. He heals him. They're gonna go sacrifice themselves. Venom flings Eddie out. Eddie survives. Lightning Lady gets a symbiote and is like, gets the flash powers, and it's cool. I mean, it's fun to see, but like, why? Army dude sacrifices himself to further destroy the Xenophages. Null stays imprisoned. Everyone's happy. Eddie is like given immunity. By the way, Eddie is on the run at the beginning of the movie. That's why he's doing what he's doing. I forgot that part because it's not really important. Nothing in this movie is important. He gets his immunity and he's no crimes. Eddie, yay. Eddie then goes to New York. Yay. Eddie Brock is finally there. Doesn't go to the Daily Bugle though. He goes to the Statue of Liberty because he told Venom that he would always go there. And he finally did, but by himself. And that's how the movie ends, which, by the way, that whole end scene was shot in reshoots, so I'm very curious what the original ending was supposed to be. Speaking of that, I forgot to mention, there's a whole like montage when he's in New York, like harkening back to the first movies. I would not at all be surprised if that montage scene was a last-minute edit and it was reactionary to everyone's reaction to the Deadpool and Wolverine sacrifice scene and the post-credit scene where they like roll through the old footage, because it gives me those same vibes. And I know Deadpool and Wolverine didn't invent that, like it's been done in other movies, but it just feels so reactionary. And because I know that they reshot a bunch of that stuff, I've gotta believe that's the case. Oh, post-credit scenes, Null, cool. People were saying that Null design looks bad. It looks just like he does in the comics. And the CGI isn't even that bad. It's just because it's from a cam rip. CGI during the whole movie, by the way, is actually pretty good. Then the second one, I mean, so the bartender, by the way, was captured. I forgot to mention that part. The bartender from the No Way Home bar thing was captured by the government dude for no reason. And then at the end of the second post-credit scene, he's like released from Area 51, and he's like, oh yay, I'm free. Nonsense. And then they show a cockroach that like kind of looks like Venom. I didn't even get that. I knew what the post-credit scenes were ahead of time, and people were saying, oh, it's a Venom cockroach. Harkening back to when one of the scientist pain lady was like, cockroaches have been alive forever, they can survive anything, and I'm assuming supposed to mean that like Venom survived with a cockroach, he can survive anything, but again, it also kind of goes against the sacrifice. And it would just be like if Venom was just alive there and it's just like, oh, I gotta stay away from Eddie because we gotta do it for the greater good. So that's like possible, but I don't know. It just seems kind of weird and kind of undermines the whole sacrifice that's supposed to be emotional that everyone loves. Okay, all these characters are so pointless. The new family, pointless. The idea they're supposed to like represent the life that Eddie and Venom were supposed to have is kind of weird because Venom's never wanted the whole family. Eddie has wanted to be married, but like that was kind of dropped from the last movie, and now is whatever it is here. That's just not well done. Feels out of place. The scientist characters and the army dude are so generic. The one, like, Lady Payne gets a cool backstory just because she gets lightning venom powers later. I don't care about any of the characters in this movie, aside from Eddie and Venom and Mrs. Chen. And Null, just because I like Null. Yeah, Patrick Mulligan is wasted. I don't know if you can feel this. I'm kind of rambling, just I feel so defeated, and I think this movie is just a complete mess. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't think that the wackiness is enjoyable enough to like make the movie worth seeing. Kind of disappointed that this trilogy is a thing. I was so excited. When the first Venom movie was announced, I had actually really high hopes because I liked Venom. I thought the first trailer was actually really cool. It seemed like dark and kind of ambiguous because it was a teaser and it was well done. And then the first movie was pretty painfully fine. The second one was awful, but in a funny way. And this one I think is just awful in a not enjoyable way. So I'm kind of let down by this trilogy. I like Venom. Go read the Venom comics, they're really good. Honestly, I hope Sony does not touch this whole storyline again. I hope that the Venom we get with Tom Holland's Spider-Man is like a true Eddie Brock. Go the cancer route, go the reporter route, which I know he was in the first movie, but they kind of dropped. Well, no, they dropped it, I guess, only in this one. He was the reporter in the other two ones. You know what I mean? Like, go the full villainous route, make him a villain, and then he could be an anti-hero later. Drop the goofiness. I think it's fun for Tom Hardy's version because he had fun with it, but I don't want to see it. And like, Venom does do dark humor in the comics, but they don't do dark humor in these movies. They just do like slapstick humor. Yeah, I'm just kind of defeated. I think after this and after Joker 2, I'm just getting whiplash because this week we had another great episode of Penguin. Awesome. We had a really good episode of Agatha. If you don't like Agatha or think Agatha's bad, episode 7, absolute banger. One of my favorite MCU TV episodes, by the way. I'm getting complete whiplash of bad, like awful movie, good stuff, now awful. I need a good superhero movie. I think I'm gonna watch the Batman or Spider-Man No Way Home or something now because I gotta like cleanse my palate. I'm just so in defeat, and you know what I gotta say? I thought that the Kraven trailer they played before the movie looked really cool, but I don't want to get my hopes up because I've been let down by this universe so many times. So we'll see if Kraven is good. I hope it is, but we'll see. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna do a post-credit scene breakdown in more depth, I guess, and I'm gonna do backstories on who Null is in the comics, who Toxin is, because he's actually pretty cool, and all the other symbiotes that we kind of get teased in this movie. Yeah, I don't even have an optimistic goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were entertained by my depression. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.